This is called Owl. I shuffle between rooms because I can't sleep. And I think of the owl I listened to on Dartmoor, flitting between branches, climbing the clumpy valley, invisible in darkness, announcing each move with a sharp kerwick that grew louder, traversing the row of river-tide trees, and me in the field's edge, risen to night and sharp-eared, listening until it landed on the lame locked holly, now near and present, as though it had landed on my own right shoulder. And as I stoop in darkness between doorways, wishing I was asleep, mind mysterious, head pitching like a handheld lamp, I wonder what tree or branch was I vainly looking for. The owl flew on with a silk slow hush, a cape sweep of unclasped wings. And I knew I had been left by a creature who knows the night's hollows better than me, can let go into the dimness, unperturbed, confined in the black blindness, what it needs to find. So my second poem that I'm going to read is called In Front of the Rock Garden. It's a self-portrait. I am close to finishing training in counselling, so one could say it's a slightly psychoanalytical approach to viewing myself when I was quite small. It's called In Front of the Rock Garden. Everything about me is perfect pose. For my mother's gaze. I'm staring straight at camera, but in an ambivalent must-I way. Not sure of the setting, nor my part. There's something strange, something large, left unexplained I'm trying to frame. Wary tilt of my sun-soaked, quizzical head. An ageless question, who is me and who the not me? Already I hold tight my right to silence, to abstain. Already I forbear. This life struggle will never be easy. Behind my back, my hands, twisting each wrist in Chinese burns. We're at that time of year outside the studio, that is, where it's all very green, and the shock of growth. And I guess you might say that a lot of the poems in this collection are to do with winter, but here's something very much of the opposite, and it's called Perfusion. Pushed or pulled the growth of your life. The grass gives way to weeds. The dandelions, like a massed tribe, came, camped, and now have gone. The clover cross stitches, multiplies its lattice, raises up putty white pom-poms, something for the bees. The spider starts to spin into summer's depths, a thickening, a deepening. The earth's riches, its priceless hoards, unstoppable, inexhaustible. The brambles bend, the lupins and foxgloves go up like skyscrapers. And everything in your life is unstoppable too. This force fuses you, makes some days difficult, so much of it you don't know what to do. Even though the title of the collection is A Watchful Astronomy, as certain reviewers have pointed out, there's a lot of family poems in here. I'm just going to read one today. Perhaps more poems about my father, but this is a poem about my mother, or a conversation, I should say. It's called Words. Late afternoon, I speak to Mum on the phone. She's sorting through her past. 400 or so odd-sized photographs. Well, you won't want to do it, she says, when I'm gone. I won't leave you that task. We switch tack, not from fear, from silent truth, what can't come back. We talk of mulish, rough weather, April squalls, the wind's choking embrace of a newly dressed willow, bringing it down, its road wreckage near her place. Dad's death was like that tree. She talks in tangents. Is this what she means? So I've got to read a Bristol poem. That has to happen, doesn't it? I live in South Bristol, and there's a beautiful park called Victoria Park, where you get tremendous views back across the city. This poem plays with the perspective that I think that I find in the other poems. It's the sense of distances between things. Victoria Park. The trees transfixed. The whole long line of limes parade through the park. Here they dug down, grew strong. Here and only here they homed in, lost or stuck to a last move, a black square, this bold board, this park on a city's hill. The game doesn't complete. It will always be your turn in your world, always tea break, always unfinished. Life is paradox, the towering trees, the plum-pinned night, this slope of static kings, this world you walk through, never to be solved. This has become a bit of a favourite, which is I'm a runner, and I had never sort of managed, or at least tried to write about running. And I was kind of slightly pushed by my editor, can I write a running poem? It's the only running poem in the book, and people really seem to respond to this poem. So I feel I have to read it. It does account for why I'm quite lightweight and slimline. I'm wearing my running shoes today, just in case I get a little nervous and I'm going to hop out of here. It's called High in HANHAM. My mate Dave in front. I purr past Dave going up the wooded hill. Those bloody concrete giant steps. The guy in front is, well, in front. I peg it alongside the Avon, slick as swarfiger. Dave tracks me. The tall poplars shimmering quill feathers. The yellow brick towpath winds away. Back in the woods, climbing the hill, Dave whips past. For a moment, I reckon we can both catch the second place guy, but that is hubris, a fading, false hope. Dave stretches his gain, flickering away like a fish. We hit the rope, tied to the bank like a croc slipway, and haul up. That's me all in, buried and gone. Dave's off across the footy field, killing it, wild helicopter arms. There's no stopping him. The sun's a citrine blaze beyond the trees, casts a winter wax on everything. I lap the field nonchalantly, haloed. Time to cruise to the finish like I wasn't even trying. That sun, that lemon glaze. In the Rex bar afterwards, it's on everything. Carrot cake, circle of friends, crap, carpet. And I'll just finish with this poem, which for me, I think got my work moving. I think we need feedback, we need encouragement. And unless someone reflects that back to us, we're in the dark a little bit, I think. So this is a poem that gave me encouragement. It's called Sea Bream Dinner. And sometimes it is enough to only think about what to have for dinner and to go out to the shops in advance, through the square beneath the lurching horse chestnuts, and over the long broken path slabs at midday, to buy fish fresh from the fishmonger's magician hands, and to get home in the evening, to cook with stained spoon and heavy pan what has been found first by a Cornish fisherman. And not to be in a devil's rush, not to high hurdle against the odds a sprinter's dinner, but to gaslight the stove, to put the whole sea bream in the clay tagine carefully, as if it were your own parents you were laying to rest, with sprig of bay, splash of wine, slide this day's death into the oven with a softly worded message. Be wholesome, silver sea thing treasured. Let the white meat do its best.